Let us pray together and let our hearts rest in God.
God of the quiet morning and the late night ache, you are here before our thoughts form and after our strength runs thin, closer than breath and steadier than the ground beneath our feet. And in this moment we remember that your presence has never wavered, not when we were confident, not when we were confused, not when we doubted our own worth, because you have always wanted what is good, what is healing, what is life-giving for us, even when we could not see it, even when our paths felt tangled and our prayers felt small. You remain gentle and intentional, guiding without force, loving without condition, knowing the endings while walking patiently with us through the middle. And as the weight of the day settles on our shoulders, we feel the quiet truth that we are not alone, that every heartbeat is held, that every tear is counted, that every joy is noticed. And if you feel weary or restless right now, come sit with me here for a moment and let this awareness wash over you. Because the God who formed the stars is also tending to your heart, desiring peace for your mind, wholeness for your spirit, and a future shaped not by fear, but by hope. And in this shared stillness, we begin to lean into the sacred knowing that love has been surrounding us all along, waiting for us to notice, waiting for us to rest, waiting for us to trust. As we remain here in this gentle awareness, we turn our hearts toward the prayer Jesus once offered as a path through the noise of the world, a prayer carried across centuries like a steady flame, and we begin to breathe it in slowly, allowing its familiar words to soften us rather than rush past us, remembering that prayer is not performance but presence. And so we say in the quiet of our spirits, "Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name," letting those words remind us that God is both intimate and holy, close enough to call Father and vast enough to hold the heavens. And if your heart feels drawn, whisper these words with me now: "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven." Feeling the longing for a world made whole, a life aligned with love, a will surrendered not in fear, but in trust. And as the prayer unfolds, we sense ourselves stepping into something larger than our own concerns, something ancient yet alive, where heaven touches the ordinary moments of our lives, where divine intention meets human vulnerability. And without hurrying, we allow these sacred words to settle into us, shaping our breathing, quieting our striving, and gently reminding us that God's desire has always been to bring heaven close, not distant, to weave peace into our days, and to walk with us as this prayer continues to open, like a door we are only beginning to step through. We continue within this sacred rhythm, letting the next words rise gently like a familiar melody. "Give us this day our daily bread," and in them we hear the tenderness of a God who knows our needs before we name them, who understands hunger of body and hunger of soul, who offers provision not always in abundance but always in sufficiency, meeting us one day at a time so we learn trust instead of control. And as these words move through us, we remember the many ways we have already been sustained, through conversations that carried us, through unexpected strength, through grace that arrived quietly. And if there is a need pressing on your heart right now, allow yourself to hold it openly before God in this moment, knowing that nothing you require is too small or too ordinary for divine care. And as we breathe through this line of prayer, we begin to loosen our grip on tomorrow's worries, recognizing that today is already held, already seen, already provided for. And this realization settles us deeper into dependence that does not shame us but frees us, reminding us that we were never meant to carry everything alone. That daily bread is not only food, but reassurance, companionship, mercy, and the gentle promise that for this day, you are enough and you are cared for. And so the prayer carries us onward, into the tender and difficult words that touch our shared humanity. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And we feel how deeply God understands the weight we carry, the regrets we replay, the moments we wish we could rewrite, knowing that forgiveness is not a demand but a doorway, an offering of release for both the wounded and the weary. And as these words rest in our hearts, we sense the mercy of God moving toward us without hesitation, not measuring our failures, but meeting us with compassion that heals rather than condemns. And if there is something you have been holding against yourself or someone else, You can gently place it here now, letting it breathe in the light of grace. And as forgiveness flows toward us, we are invited to let it flow through us, not as an act of strength, but as an act of trust. Trusting that God can hold justice, healing, and restoration far better than we can. And in this moment, we feel the quiet relief of burdens loosening, of hearts softening, of shame losing its voice, as we remain wrapped in a prayer that continues to shape us from the inside, guiding us toward freedom that feels less like striving and more like finally being able to rest. The prayer moves gently onward, touching the places where fear often hides, and we breathe the words, "Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil," sensing not a threat, but a promise, a God who does not abandon us to our weakest moments, but walks beside us through them, offering guidance when the path blurs and strength when our resolve thins, understanding how easily we drift toward what numbs instead of what heals. And as these words settle, we feel the quiet assurance that we are not left alone to battle what pulls at us in the dark, that divine protection is not distant but attentive, watching the subtle turns of our hearts. And if you feel yourself standing at a crossroads right now, unsure which way leads to peace, allow yourself to lean into this protection for a breath and let God steady you. And in this leaning, we begin to trust that deliverance is not always dramatic, but often gentle, arriving as clarity, restraint, wisdom, or the courage to walk away. And the prayer continues to form a shelter around us, reminding us that even when temptation whispers loudly, love speaks more faithfully, and the God who desires our good is always nearer than the shadows we fear. As the final words of the prayer echo softly within us, we rest in the unspoken truth of God's reign and power and glory, not as distant theology, but as a living reality that surrounds our lives. And from this sacred foundation, we begin to turn our hearts toward the wisdom that calls us to guard what is most tender within us, remembering that above all else, we are invited to protect the inner world where love, intention, and faith take root, because everything we do flows from that hidden place. And as we sit with this truth, we recognize how easily the heart can be bruised by worry, hardened by disappointment, or scattered by noise. Yet God's desire is not to scold us, but to gently teach us how to keep our hearts safe and whole. And if you feel the stirring to bring your heart closer to God right now, allow it to open without fear, knowing it is welcomed here. And in this opening, we sense that guarding the heart is not about walls, but about attention, about choosing what we allow to dwell within us, about tending our inner life the way one tends a fragile flame, shielding it from harsh winds while allowing it to grow brighter. And as we remain in this quiet devotion, we feel God's presence leaning in, ready to guide us deeper into this sacred work of care that has only just begun. As we stay with this sacred understanding, we notice how easily the heart can grow tired from carrying unspoken griefs and silent expectations, and God meets us there with patience, reminding us that guarding the heart also means allowing it to rest, to release what it was never meant to carry alone. And as this realization settles, we begin to sense permission to set things down, to loosen the tight grip we keep on control, outcomes, and approval, trusting that love does not require exhaustion to prove its worth. And if there is something heavy you have been holding quietly, you can let it fall into God's care right now without explanation. And in this act of release, we feel space opening inside us, space for breath, space for gentleness, space for healing to begin its quiet work. And the heart, once guarded by tension, starts to be guarded by trust. Instead, learning that safety can exist without constant vigilance. And as we remain in this softening moment, we feel God's presence not pushing us forward, but sitting with us, reminding us that strength can be found in stillness, that renewal often comes not through effort, but through surrender. And this awareness carries us deeper into a devotion that continues to unfold like a calm horizon ahead. In this calm horizon of presence, we begin to sense how guarding the heart also involves what we allow to shape our hope. The stories we tell ourselves about who we are and where we are going. And God, who speaks truth over us with quiet consistency, invites us to listen more closely to His voice than to the echoes of fear or failure. And as we listen, we feel a gentle correction taking place, not harsh but steady, reminding us that our worth was never fragile, never earned, never revoked. And if you feel a longing right now to hear something kinder spoken over your life, allow your heart to lean toward God's whisper in this moment. And in that leaning, we recognize how deeply everything flows from this inner narrative, how our actions, our relationships, and our courage rise or fall depending on what we believe within. And God's desire is to anchor our hearts in truth that steadies rather than shatters, that strengthens rather than accuses. And as we stay with this truth, we feel a quiet reorientation happening, a slow turning toward hope that feels more grounded, more believable, more alive. And the prayer continues onward, carrying us gently through this inner transformation that does not rush, but faithfully endures. As this inner turning continues, we become aware of how guarding the heart shapes the way we love others, how what flows from within us touches every conversation, every silence, every act of kindness or withdrawal. And God invites us to notice this, not with guilt, but with curiosity, understanding that healed hearts tend to heal, and wounded hearts often ache aloud. And as we reflect on this, we sense an invitation to let God tend our inner wounds so that love can move through us more freely. And if there is a relationship resting on your heart right now, you may hold it gently before God without trying to fix it. And in doing so, we feel compassion widening, beginning first within us and then extending outward, reminding us that guarding the heart does not mean closing it off, but allowing it to remain open without being unprotected. And this balance feels delicate yet possible when God is present within it. And as we remain here, we sense that love, when rooted in a guarded and cared-for heart, becomes less reactive and more patient, less defensive and more generous. And the prayer continues to breathe life into this awareness, carrying us deeper into a way of being shaped quietly by grace. Staying within this gentle movement of grace, we begin to notice how guarding the heart influences the choices we make when no one is watching, the quiet decisions that slowly form the direction of our lives. And God, who sees the hidden places with kindness, invites us to bring even these unseen moments into the light of awareness, not to expose us, but to guide us. And as we sit with this, we sense that wisdom often arrives softly, as a nudge, a pause, a question that asks us to choose what nurtures life rather than what merely distracts. And if you feel drawn right now to realign even one small habit with what brings peace, you can acknowledge that desire here without pressure. And in acknowledging it, we begin to understand how guarding the heart is a daily practice, woven into ordinary moments, shaping us gently over time rather than all at once. And this understanding lifts the weight of urgency, replacing it with patience and trust. And as we remain in this prayer, we feel God walking with us through these quiet choices, offering companionship rather than command. And the devotion continues to flow, steady and unforced, like a path that reveals itself one step at a time. As this path continues to reveal itself, we sense how guarding the heart also means learning when to be still and when to move, when to speak and when to listen. And God meets us in this discernment with a calm that does not rush our timing, reminding us that wisdom is often found in patience rather than urgency. And as we rest with this truth, we notice how much noise we carry inside, how many voices compete for attention. And yet beneath them all, there is a steady, loving presence inviting us toward clarity. And if you feel the need right now to quiet the noise even for a moment, allow yourself to breathe slowly and listen inwardly here. And in that listening, we begin to feel our hearts settle, recognizing that guarding the heart includes choosing silence when words would scatter us, choosing reflection when reaction would drain us. And this choice becomes a form of trust, trusting that God can speak clearly when we make room. And as we stay with this awareness, we feel less hurried by the world's pace, more anchored in a rhythm that feels truer to who we are becoming. And the prayer continues on, carrying us deeper into this quiet alignment that gently reshapes our days. Within this quieter rhythm, we begin to recognize how guarding the heart is also an act of remembering where we have already seen faithfulness, where light has broken through before, where strength has surprised us in moments we thought we would not survive. And God invites us to gather these memories not as nostalgia, but as anchors, steadying us when uncertainty returns. And as we reflect, we sense gratitude rising gently, not forced, simply present, acknowledging that even in hardship there were traces of care we did not walk through alone. And if a moment of past grace comes to mind right now, you can hold it softly before God and let it warm you again. And in doing so, we feel how memory can guard the heart by reminding it of truth when fear tries to rewrite the story. And this remembrance becomes a quiet defense against despair, a way of keeping hope alive without denying pain. And as we remain here, we feel our inner landscape growing more grounded, less easily shaken, shaped by a growing awareness that the same God who carried us then is present now. And the prayer continues to move forward, weaving past and present into a living trust that still has room to deepen. As trust continues to deepen, we become aware that guarding the heart also involves how we speak to ourselves in the quiet spaces, the tone we use when no one else can hear. And God listens to these inner words with compassion, desiring not to correct us harshly, but to heal the places where we have learned to be unkind to our own souls. And as this awareness settles, we sense an invitation to replace accusation with mercy, to allow the same gentleness God offers us to become the language we use within. And if you notice a harsh thought rising right now, you can pause and let it soften in God's presence without judgment. And in this softening, we feel the heart exhale, realizing that guarding it sometimes means protecting it from our own relentless expectations, from narratives that demand constant proving. And as this inner dialogue begins to change, even subtly, we notice how everything downstream begins to shift, how peace feels more accessible, how courage feels less forced, and the prayer continues to cradle us in this slow transformation, reminding us that God is patient with the process, that love works quietly, and that every gentle word we learn to speak inwardly becomes another way the heart is kept safe and alive. Remaining in this atmosphere of patience, we sense how guarding the heart also prepares us to face moments of uncertainty without losing ourselves, teaching us how to stay rooted even when outcomes remain unclear. And God meets us in these in-between spaces with a steady presence that does not demand immediate answers, inviting us to trust the unfolding rather than fear it. And as we sit with this, we recognize how often anxiety pulls us out of the present, urging us to live ahead of our lives. And yet the heart finds safety when it stays anchored in now. And if you feel pulled toward worry about what lies ahead, you can gently return your attention to this moment with God and rest here. And in this return, we feel our breathing slow, our thoughts settle, our sense of self stabilize, understanding that guarding the heart does not require certainty but connection, not control but companionship. And as we remain here, we feel God walking with us into the unknown, not rushing us forward, but promising presence at every step. And the prayer continues, carrying us closer to a deeper trust that still has room to grow, still open, still listening, still becoming. As this becoming continues, we begin to sense how guarding the heart shapes the way we hope, not as wishful thinking, but as a quiet confidence rooted in God's character. And God invites us to allow hope to remain alive even when circumstances have not yet changed, reminding us that hope is not denial, but endurance, a choice to believe that light can still find its way in. And as we sit with this truth, we notice how the heart learns resilience, how it bends without breaking, how it keeps space for possibility. And if you feel a flicker of hope stirring right now, however small or fragile, you can let yourself acknowledge it here without fear. And in acknowledging it, we feel how guarding the heart involves protecting this fragile hope from cynicism, from despair, from the temptation to shut down. And this protection becomes an act of faith, trusting that God is still at work beneath the surface, still shaping outcomes we cannot yet see. And as we remain in this devotion, we sense a quiet strengthening taking place, not loud or dramatic, but steady and real. And the prayer continues onward, holding us gently as we move closer to its final unfolding without yet bringing anything to a close. As we draw nearer to the heart of this devotion, we become aware of how guarding the heart ultimately teaches us how to receive love without fear, how to stay open even after disappointment. And God approaches us here with a tenderness that does not rush healing but honors its timing, understanding how vulnerability can feel risky when trust has been strained. And as this understanding settles, we sense that love was never meant to be earned through self-protection, but received through surrender. And the heart learns courage not by hardening, but by allowing itself to be held. And if you feel a quiet desire right now to let God love you without resistance, you can simply allow that possibility to exist here. And in this allowance, we feel something soften, something unclench, as the heart recognizes safety not as the absence of pain, but as the presence of faithful care. And this recognition changes the way everything flows from within us, shaping our responses, our patience, our capacity to remain present. And as we stay here, we feel the prayer gathering depth rather than ending, like a river slowing as it widens, holding us gently in a space where nothing needs to be resolved yet, where love is still working, still breathing, still preparing us for the blessing that waits just beyond this moment. Now in this widening stillness where the prayer has carried us, we rest in the truth that the God who has been near from the beginning remains near even now, watching over the heart with a love that is both gentle and strong. And as everything we do continues to flow from this guarded and tended place, we sense a quiet gratitude rising, not because every question has been answered, but because we are held, known, and accompanied. And if you feel ready in this moment, allow your heart to fully receive what God is offering here without striving or hesitation. And as you do, may peace settle into you like a warm light. May your heart be guarded not by fear, but by wisdom, not by walls, but by love. May clarity meet you in moments of confusion. May strength find you when you feel small, and may hope remain alive within you, even in the waiting. And may the presence of God bless you and keep you, surround you with comfort, guide your steps gently, and fill your inner world with a calm that flows outward into every part of your life, today and always, in quiet assurance and abiding grace. Parte superior do formulário. Parte inferior do formulário.